The recent announcement of Israel's alleged attack on the helicopter of Iran's president, Ebrahim Raisi, has sent shockwaves rippling across the international stage. The incident, shrouded in mystery and intrigue, not only marks a significant escalation in the ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran, but also raises pertinent questions about the tactics employed and the potential ramifications for regional stability. Before we start, hit the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. The news of the attack, which resulted in the tragic demise of Iran's newly appointed president, Ebrahim Raisi, sent reverberations of disbelief and outrage throughout Iran and beyond. Raisi, known for his hardline stance and unwavering commitment to Iran's political and ideological principles, had assumed office amidst a backdrop of simmering tensions with Israel and the broader international community. His sudden demise, purportedly at the hands of an Israeli agent posing as the helicopter pilot, has thrust the already volatile region into further chaos and uncertainty. Central to the unfolding narrative is the alleged involvement of an Israeli agent as the pilot of the helicopter. While Israeli officials have remained tight-lipped about the incident, citing security concerns and the need to protect sensitive information, speculation and conjecture abound in both diplomatic circles and the media. The notion of clandestine operations and covert missions is not unfamiliar terrain for either Israel or Iran, both of whom have a history of engaging in proxy conflicts and intelligence operations to further their respective agendas. The ramifications of such an audacious and brazen attack are manifold, with implications reaching far beyond the borders of Israel and Iran. The incident threatens to exacerbate existing tensions in an already volatile region where geopolitical fault lines intersect and rivalries run deep. The delicate balance of power, painstakingly maintained through years of diplomacy and strategic maneuvering, now hangs precariously in the balance as nations scramble to assess the fallout and chart a course forward. Furthermore, the attack on Iran's president raises troubling questions about the norms of international conduct and the sanctity of sovereign leadership. Regardless of the underlying geopolitical motivations, the deliberate targeting of a head of state represents a flagrant violation of established protocols and principles governing interstate relations. The brazen disregard for diplomatic niceties and the rule of law threatens to erode the already fragile foundations of global governance, casting a shadow of doubt over the efficacy of multilateral institutions in preserving peace and security. Against this backdrop of uncertainty and apprehension, the international community finds itself at a crossroads, grappling with the complex web of alliances and allegiances that underpin the modern geopolitical landscape. Calls for restraint and de-escalation reverberate across capitals, as world leaders seek to diffuse tensions and prevent the situation from spiraling out of control. Yet, amidst the clamor for diplomacy and dialogue, the specter of retaliation looms large as both Israel and Iran weigh their options and assess the potential costs and benefits of further escalation. At the heart of the matter lies the enduring enmity between Israel and Iran, two regional heavyweights locked in a protracted struggle for supremacy and influence. The animosity between the two nations, rooted in historical grievances and divergent ideological outlooks, has manifested itself in a series of proxy conflicts and covert operations, each fraught with peril and uncertainty. The alleged attack on Iran's president serves as the latest chapter in this ongoing saga of brinkmanship and confrontation, underscoring the high stakes involved and the perilous nature of regional dynamics in the Middle East. As the dust settles on the wreckage of Iran's president's helicopter, the world watches with bated breath, acutely aware of the potential consequences of this brazen act of aggression. The path forward remains uncertain, fraught with danger and uncertainty, yet infused with a glimmer of hope that cooler heads may yet prevail. In the corridors of power and the chambers of diplomacy, leaders grapple with the weight of responsibility, mindful of the need to navigate treacherous waters with prudence and foresight. In this aftermath of the alleged attack, both Israel and Iran find themselves thrust into uncharted territory, grappling with the repercussions of their actions and the complexities of navigating an increasingly volatile geopolitical landscape. For Israel, the incident represents a calculated gamble aimed at weakening a perceived adversary and sending a clear message about the costs of defiance. However, the potential backlash from Iran and its allies, coupled with the risk of broader regional destabilization, underscores the inherent risks involved in such high-stakes brinkmanship. Iran, on the other hand, faces a delicate balancing act as it seeks to respond to what it perceives as a grave provocation while avoiding a full-blown confrontation that could further isolate it on the world stage. The loss of President Raisi, a staunch advocate for Iran's conservative agenda and a symbol of resistance against external pressure, leaves a void at the highest levels of leadership and threatens to disrupt the country's political stability at a time of mounting domestic and international challenges. The alleged involvement of an Israeli agent in the attack adds a layer of intrigue to an already complex situation, raising questions about the extent of covert operations and espionage activities being conducted by both sides. The shadowy world of intelligence agencies and clandestine operatives, long a hallmark of the Israeli-Iranian rivalry, now takes center stage as investigators and analysts seek to unravel the truth behind the helicopter crash and its underlying motivations. In the diplomatic arena, the fallout from the incident reverberates far and wide, with nations around the world scrambling to assess the implications for their own interests and alliances. The United States, as a key ally of Israel and a leading player in the Middle East, finds itself walking a tightrope between supporting its ally and maintaining stability in the region. Similarly, other regional powers such as Saudi Arabia and Turkey must navigate the delicate balance between their strategic interests and the need to prevent further escalation. Meanwhile, international organizations such as the United Nations are called upon to intervene and mediate the dispute, offering a forum for dialogue and conflict resolution in the hopes of preventing the situation from spiraling out of control. Yet, the challenges of brokering peace in the midst of entrenched animosities and divergent agendas loom large, highlighting the limitations of diplomacy in the face of entrenched geopolitical rivalries. As the world watches with bated breath, the fate of the Middle East hangs in the balance, with the specter of conflict casting a long shadow over the region's future. While the immediate aftermath of the alleged attack may be characterized by uncertainty and apprehension, there remains a glimmer of hope that cooler heads will prevail, and that dialogue and diplomacy will ultimately triumph over brinkmanship and confrontation. For Israel, the decision to allegedly target Iran's president marks a calculated escalation in its ongoing struggle to contain the perceived threat posed by its regional adversaries. As a nation surrounded by hostile neighbors and facing existential challenges on multiple fronts, Israel has long pursued a policy of preemptive action and deterrence, seeking to neutralize potential threats before they materialize into direct challenges to its security and survival. However, the alleged attack on Iran's president also exposes the inherent risks and moral dilemmas associated with such a strategy. By targeting a head of state, Israel has crossed a dangerous threshold, inviting condemnation and reprisals from Iran and its allies, while also risking further destabilization in an already volatile region. The decision to employ covert means to achieve strategic objectives underscores the complexities of modern warfare and the blurred lines between self-defense and aggression. Moreover, the alleged involvement of an Israeli agent as the pilot of the helicopter raises troubling questions about the extent of foreign influence and infiltration within Iran's security apparatus. The ability of Israel to penetrate Iran's defenses and execute such a brazen operation speaks to the sophistication and reach of its intelligence capabilities, as well as the vulnerabilities of its adversaries to covert subversion and sabotage. In the final analysis, the alleged attack on Iran's President Ebrahim Raisi's helicopter serves as a wake-up call for the international community, highlighting the dangers of unchecked aggression and the imperative of collective action to preserve peace and security in the Middle East. Only through a concerted effort to address the root causes of conflict and promote dialogue and reconciliation can the cycle of violence be broken, and the promise of a brighter future for the region be realized. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us, what geopolitical consequences do you expect as a result of this revelation? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.